Imagine a familiar scene. It's almost 2 in the morning and the house is completely quiet. You are sleeping peacefully when you suddenly feel a small movement on the bed. One step, then another. Before you even open your eyes, your cat has already jumped onto the bed, walked in a small circle, and curled up right next to you. Sometimes it settles near your feet, sometimes beside your pillow, and occasionally it even chooses the warmest spot of all right on your chest. If you own a cat, this moment probably feels very familiar. Most people explain this behavior in a simple way. The cat is just looking for a warm place to sleep. At first, that sounds perfectly reasonable. Your body gives off heat, the blanket is soft, and the bed is comfortable. But when you think about it more carefully, the explanation becomes less convincing. Your home is full of warm places where a cat could sleep. There might be a sunny window, a soft sofa, a blanket on a chair, or even a pile of clothes left on the floor. If warmth were the only reason, your cat could choose any of these locations. Yet many cats consistently choose a very specific place right next to you. And according to animal behavior science, that choice is rarely random. In fact, it may be one of the clearest signs of trust a cat can show a human. To understand this behavior, we need to look at a cat's instincts. In the wild, cats are hunters, but they are not at the very top of the food chain. A small cat can still become prey for larger predators, such as wild dogs, birds of prey, or other bigger animals. Because of this, sleep is the moment when a cat is most vulnerable. During deep sleep, its reaction time drops dramatically, and its awareness of danger decreases. That is why a cat's instincts constantly push it to find a safe place before falling asleep. In nature, cats usually choose sleeping locations that are high, hidden, and difficult to reach. These spots allow them to observe their surroundings while reducing the risk of surprise attacks. That is why many domestic cats love sleeping on top of cabinets, bookshelves, or even refrigerators. These elevated places give them a clear view of their environment and a sense of control over potential threats. But when a cat chooses to sleep right next to you, it is essentially ignoring many of those survival instincts. Instead of choosing height or isolation, it chooses closeness. And that decision only happens when the cat believes something important. You are part of its safe zone. For many years, people believed that cats were independent animals that did not form emotional bonds with humans in the same way dogs do. However, more recent research suggests the opposite. A study conducted at Oregon State University examined how cats reacted when they were separated from their owners. The results revealed that about 65% of cats show what scientists call a secure attachment to their human caregivers, a pattern very similar to the bond seen between young children and their parents. This means that when cats feel uncertain or stressed, they naturally look for the person they trust most, not only for affection, but for security. Sleeping next to their owner is one of the clearest signs of this attachment. But the explanation is not only psychological, it also involves brain chemistry. When you pet your cat, both your body and your cat's body release a hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin is often referred to as the bonding hormone because it appears in situations involving emotional connection when a mother holds her child, when people hug each other, or when individuals feel a strong sense of trust and closeness. Interestingly, studies have shown that when humans interact with cats, oxytocin levels increase in both species. In other words, it is not just the human who feels calmer and more relaxed. The cat experiences the same biological response. When your cat sleeps beside you, its brain is literally entering a state associated with safety, comfort, and bonding. The relationship between humans and cats also has a very long history. Archaeological evidence suggests that cats began living near humans around 9,000 years ago, during the early development of agriculture. As people started storing grain, mice and other small rodents were attracted to these food supplies. Naturally, those rodents attracted cats. At first, cats likely approached human settlements simply to hunt. But over time, they discovered that living near humans had significant advantages. Humans unintentionally provided food, shelter, and protection, while cats helped control pest populations. This arrangement gradually became a mutually beneficial relationship. Over thousands of years, cats grew more comfortable around humans. They began living inside homes, sharing spaces with people, and eventually sleeping beside them. If you pay attention, you may notice that cats rarely choose completely random spots on the bed. Many prefer specific locations, such as near your feet, close to your chest, or near your head. One possible reason involves the sounds of your body, your heartbeat, and breathing. Cats have extremely sensitive hearing, and the steady rhythm of a heartbeat can feel familiar and comforting. For kittens, this sound resembles what they experienced when sleeping beside their mother. That familiar rhythm can help calm their nervous system and encourage deeper rest. Another important factor is scent. Cats communicate extensively through smell. They have scent glands located on their face, chin, and the base of their tail. When a cat rubs its head against you or curls up on your blanket, it is not simply being affectionate. It is also mixing its scent with yours. In a cat's perception of the world, this is a way of marking territory and strengthening social bonds. By sharing scent, the cat is essentially saying that you belong within its trusted space. There is also an interesting human element to this behavior. Research on human sleep suggests that people often feel more relaxed and secure when sleeping near a familiar living being. Throughout much of human history, individuals rarely slept alone. People typically slept in families, groups, or small communities. The presence of another living creature nearby can reduce the brain's sense of alertness and make the nervous system feel safer. So, when your cat sleeps beside you, the sense of security goes both ways. The cat feels protected by your presence, and you may subconsciously feel comforted by the presence of the cat. However, it is also important to notice when this behavior changes. Cats are creatures of habit, and they tend to follow consistent routines. If a cat that has slept beside you for months or years suddenly stops doing so, there may be a reason behind the change. It could be related to environmental differences, stress, the arrival of a new pet, or even potential health problems. Veterinarians sometimes note that changes in sleeping habits can be early indicators of discomfort, joint pain, or illness. Because cats cannot communicate through words, their behavior often becomes their primary way of expressing how they feel. Observing those small changes can sometimes reveal important information about their well-being. So, the next time you wake up in the middle of the night and notice a small ball of fur curled up beside your legs, take a moment to think about what that moment represents. In a world where a cat's instincts constantly tell it to stay alert and protect itself, your cat made a choice. Not the sofa, not the corner of the room, and not the window. It chose you. And in the eyes of your cat, that choice carries a simple meaning. You are the safest place in its world.